Welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Here today on a rather blustery day, which is why I'm close to the house, so hopefully the wind won't be too bad on the video. But we have to deal with something today we've been putting off for a while, and that's this apple tree behind me here. Now, this tree was here when we bought the house. We don't know exactly what kind it is, but it's definitely eating apples. It's not crabapple or anything. Now, we've noticed, as this is our 3rd year here, this seems to be an every other year kind of apple tree. The first year we were here, it was loaded with blooms. It looked so beautiful. It had a ton of apples. And then last year it had practically nothing. So we didn't know whether it was the weather or bugs or what. And we were kind of worried about this year. But this year, once again, tons of blooms and tons of apples. So we've been eating the apples. I've been feeding some of them to the chickens. I've been dehydrating some of the apples, diced apples for the chickens in the winter. They get a treat each day. And so that will help in the winter instead of having to buy apples at the store. But we still have a ton of apples on the ground. So we're actually going to make some cider with a bunch of the apples we have there. Now, the first thing we have to do, of course, is go and pick them all up, and there's a lot of them. This is what we're dealing with. Apples everywhere. And the tree still has quite a few apples that haven't come down yet. So here's one of them. It's a beautiful apple. I don't know exactly what kind. It's a bit tart when you bite into it, but really quite tasty. Craig's brought the wagon over, and now it's time to get all these apples off the ground and into the wagon. Well, we didn't pick them all up. Some of them are pretty badly eaten or damaged, but we got a nice wagon full of good-looking apples to turn into apple cider. So this is my husband's homemade apple cider press, and it works great. So here's the frame, and you can see a bottle jack. Down here, the bucket with the shovel is where he dumps a load of apples in, chops them up with that shovel. And then in here we have some clean pillowcases, and he puts the apples inside those, puts the pillowcases on this tray here, puts the blocks on top, and then with the bottle jack he begins to press it, and the liquid comes off of here and down into the bucket. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but it works. After they've been pressed, we actually dump them into a bucket, and this will go to the chickens. Fresh, homemade apple juice. That's really good. Really sweet. So, now if you want to ferment it, you can make this into cider, but even as it is, fresh apple juice, this is really delicious. Well, Craig has a big wagon full of apples left to do and a lot more apple juice to make. So I'm going to let him get to it, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my glass. Hope you are inspired to make your own apple press and have some fresh apple juice or apple cider. Bye for now.